Keep an eye on shares of Pinterest and PayPal this morning. You can see moving in opposite directions. Pinterest down as much as 14% perhaps when we get started with trading about 13 minutes from now. PayPal saying, you know what? In response to market rumors regarding a potential acquisition of Pinterest by PayPal, we're not pursuing an acquisition of Pinterest at this time. Pretty simple statement. Of course, there were numerous press reports last week indicating that the two companies were fairly close to a potential deal under which PayPal would pay as much as $70 a share, all in stock, to acquire Pinterest. PayPal stock price did suffer after those reports first came out, kind of day after day. And then also you had that news from Snap on Friday. Now, listen, if they were as far along as reports indicated, you would expect that PayPal perhaps would have had a sense as to Pinterest's future earnings, or at least current quarter. And that may have even been one reason why Pinterest was motivated to enter into talks to begin with. That said, what we saw from Snap, what PayPal was seeing from its own shareholder base in terms of its response to these reports, Mike, may have motivated them to back off for now. Listen, I didn't report anything. By the way, for you reporters, younger reporters out there, given I've been doing M&A reporting forever, it's no fun, man. It's hard. Even when you're right, you can end up being wrong, and everybody hates you because you got everybody in the stock. And by the way, now it's working. If you're an ARB, you were long Pinterest and short PayPal. Today is a painful day for you.
It is for sure. What is interesting to me, though, is that PayPal was at 270 before the deal news came out, before the first reports. It's only going to bounce up into the low 250s today. It was $308 stock 3 months ago. So aside from the merits or demerits of the deal as it was reported or anything else, there is now this sense out there that PayPal's searching for something, searching for the next thing, searching for some kind of traction in e-commerce, some other way to distinguish its payments platforms. And so that's an interesting part of the story from here on out.
Pins is going to open, below its Thursday open of 53. We're now at 49. Maybe some of that's the Snap effect rubbing off. But when we had the Microsoft dalliance reported back in March, and now this, to say they're being left at the altar repeatedly might be a stretch.
Yes.
But it does make you wonder about what's going on with Pins and their model.
It does. And in part, they're right. Their willingness to even consider engaging, given the belief that they're a high-growth company. Typically, that's not behavior you would expect from a company that's putting up serious growth numbers on the top line. We'll know, I think the reporting on the 4th of November is what I've got down here. So we should know fairly soon. But based, of course, on what we heard from Snap, we'll see what we get from Facebook. They are certainly lumped in, as you indicate, Carl, with that group. Again, PayPal probably had a sense for that in terms of any negotiations that had already taken place. Personally, I have not reported on this, so I'm only relying on others reporting.
Right. And, I also do wonder, obviously it would impact everybody with iOS changes, but if Pinterest would really be on the front lines of how that's going to be most impacted, you're talking about the whole selling point of Pinterest as an asset was also people going there with intent to buy, and that's kind of part of the whole, the social experience is kind of, planning something or buying something down the road or renovating a house or whatever. So it is interesting. It's a huge pool of users. It's for under $40 billion. There's not a lot of those out there. If they indeed are a motivated seller, I don't know where they end up.
Yeah. We'll see if PayPal has more to say about it in the days to come.